I went to Vietnam, and we actually traveled from the south all the way to the north, so we got to see all areas of it. I got interested in this course because I've, lived in Delaware my whole life and happened to go to college in Delaware, and I just needed to get out, and what's better than traveling 10,000 miles away and going to a place that's a completely different culture from the United States, to get out and experience the real world. I chose this course because it was the furthest away and so much different from America, and I figured that since the impact of the war between Vietnam and America, that there would be less of an influence of American culture. Before I left, I assumed, the basic things about Vietnam, that there'd be a lot of traffic and a lot of pollution and a lot of poverty, and all that was true. There's a lot of poverty, especially from the generation that actually lived in the war, that it's still continuing to rebuild. Like, there's still buildings being rebuilt from the destruction. But some things I didn't realize was how friendly they were towards Americans. We took the 1960s history course with Dr. Flam, and then there were about a third of us in that class that met once a week, and we took the quarter credit class that was called the Vietnam Experience. So we would just meet once a week for like an hour, and we would read books and do little projects and kind of teach ourselves about the culture and about the trip and what we were going to experience. There are a lot of areas during the trip where I was just really stunned by the impact of the war. We went to Friendship Village, where the children were affected by Agent Orange, and they weren't even alive during the war. This is stuff their genes are mutated, and it's being passed down, and it's not even stopping yet, through 3 generations. So we got to see that, and that's really sad to see that these kids weren't even alive during the war, and they had nothing to do with it, but they're, severely disabled because of it. I would definitely recommend a Sagan course for someone who is interested in it. I couldn't imagine have gone to Vietnam by myself and had such an experience and been able to see so much, because we had, 2 professors that went with us. We had a veteran that went with us, and he was an amazing asset to the trip. He just provided a new perspective. Like, we had different generations represented between the students and the professors, but he offered another one that just was really, really added to the trip. And we also had a tour guide he was amazing, and he was just so prepared, and we got to see so much while we were there in just 2 weeks. Towards the end of the trip, when we went up to the north, we met up with some Ohio Wesleyan students that are from Vietnam and home for the summer, and we had our farewell dinner with them. And it was just really nice to talk to them, because they're from the country, but they can still relate to us back home. I've already been telling people who haven't traveled outside the United States, or maybe, just to Canada or something like that, who haven't really been away from American culture. I've told them, it's one thing you have to do in your life. You just need to see something different and really experience it.